buttercup, you're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You know, we always try to pick these interesting subjects, and this one is no different.
Absolutely. And you know what's really caught our eye lately?
Oh, yeah.
It's this whole story about Denzel Washington.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't love Denzel Washington, right?
Exactly. A Hollywood icon.
But this time, it's not about, his on-screen, performances or anything like that.
Right. It's his off-screen life that has people talking.
Exactly. And specifically, we're talking about his recent baptism.
Yeah.
And, him becoming a minister.
Becoming a minister.
And this is all coming from an article by the Daily Express US.
Yes.
So if you want to get a little more background on this, you can always go check that out. But we're going to do a little deep dive into this. And I think there's some really interesting things that we're going to find. So
I think so, too.
Buckle up and let's do it.
Yeah, because it's interesting, this whole thing with his baptism and becoming a minister, because it comes right after he made those comments about, how religion isn't exactly, the hot topic in Hollywood.
Not fashionable.
Yeah.
Not sexy.
Right. And he literally said in that Esquire interview back in November.
We'll love that interview.
Oh, it's a great interview. He says, it's not talked about in this town.
3 times.
3 times.
He was really trying to
drive home a point.
drive a point home.
Yeah, it's not like a subtle little comment. It's like, he's really saying something here.
Just making a statement, and now he's doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a challenge to that whole,
Yeah.
that silence around faith in Hollywood.
Yes, and now he's getting baptized, and he's in Kelly Temple in New York City.
Right. Just imagine that scene.
Yeah, in casual attire, holding up, his minister's license and his baptism certificate.
That visual is amazing.
He's like, it took a while, but I'm finally here. If God can do this for me,
Yeah.
there's nothing he can't do for you. The sky literally is the limit.
Wow. That just gives me chills.
I know, it's powerful.
It really is. And it really makes you think, like, what happened between November and December?
I know, right? What shifted for him?
Yeah. Was this, something that he's been thinking about for a long time, a personal journey that he's finally ready to share?
Yeah.
Or was there some sort of event that, made him kind of change his perspective?
Yeah, because he's always been a man of faith.
Oh, absolutely.
He's never shied away from that.
But he hasn't really, made it a centerpiece of his public image either. So it's interesting that he's choosing now to kind of, step out.
Yeah, and I mean the timing too, right? Because we got this whole history in Hollywood
Oh, yeah.
of how they treat religion, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, from the Hays Code, which basically censored any depiction of faith, to, nowadays where it's like religious films are only for a certain niche audience.
Right, and they're preachy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's always been this kind of, back and forth.
This weird relationship.
Right.
And it almost feels like he's saying,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to shy away from this.
It's okay to be, a big Hollywood star and still have faith and be open about it.
Be open about it, and I'm going to show you that it can be done, and it's fine.
And I think that's really powerful because, he's not just any actor.
Right.
He's Denzel Washington. He has so much influence. And for him to do this, it really, I think, could start a conversation about faith.
Yeah. And it's not just, him doing this on his own. His wife, Coletta.
Yes.
She was so proud of him.
You can tell they've been married for 41 years.
Yeah.
And that means something.
And she talked about how, he's setting a good example for their children.
Right.
So it's not just about him.
No.
It's about his family as well.
It's about the whole family. And, I think that's an important point to bring up.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about legacy.
Exactly.
What kind of impact
is this going to have on his children and their children and so on?
What kind of impact is he going to have on Hollywood in the future?
It's like he's saying it's okay to be successful, to be in Hollywood and still
have faith.
Have your faith, right. And to me, that just opens up all these questions about legacy and what kind of impact he's going to have going forward. So
definitely. This is something that I think we're going to be talking about for a while.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really good example of how personal choices can have these much larger ripple effects.
Especially when you're Denzel Washington.
Right.
Right? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Yeah. And it goes beyond just him,
Oh, absolutely.
It's about that impact.
What kind of impact he wants to make.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, will this, this decision affect his future roles?
Oh, totally. I was thinking the same thing. Will we start seeing him gravitate towards projects that have more of that, spiritual element.
Yeah, projects that align with his faith, you know?
Exactly, like themes of redemption or,
Right, or stories about the power of belief.
yeah. Or maybe he'll use his influence to bring those kinds of stories to light that haven't really been seen before.
You know what I mean? Like the stories that explore faith from different perspectives,
Yes.
challenge stereotypes, maybe, foster more understanding.
And that's what's so powerful about this, right? Because
Yeah.
Denzel's reach goes way beyond Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely. He's a cultural icon.
It's not just about the roles he chooses, it's about how his choices can actually shape how people view faith and spirituality.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to that quote about faith not being fashionable in Hollywood.
Right.
It makes you think about the bigger picture, you know?
Yeah, like what's the role of faith
What is the role?
in a society that's becoming more and more secular?
Right. Especially in the entertainment industry.
It's almost like he's, like shining a spotlight on this unspoken truth
Yeah.
that faith is a private thing.
That you keep it to yourself.
Yeah, you don't really talk about it.
Especially not in Hollywood.
And not if you want to be successful,
Right, but he's challenging that notion.
He is.
He's saying it's okay
Yeah.
to be open and honest about your faith.
And it's a conversation that I think we need to have,
Oh, absolutely. It's long overdue.
especially in Hollywood. Because they have such a huge influence on
our culture.
our culture. Right?
I mean, think about all the movies and TV shows that we watch. They shape
they shape how we think.
how we view the world.
Exactly.
And so for someone like Denzel to come out and say, you know what, my faith is important to me,
Right.
that's huge.
That's huge. And it could really be a catalyst for change.
I think so.
Maybe we'll see more people in Hollywood embracing their beliefs openly,
Yeah.
telling different kinds of stories,
Stories that reflect the real diversity of faith experiences.
Exactly. And it goes beyond Hollywood, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because his actions have the potential to resonate with people
Everywhere.
everywhere, all over the world.
It's a reminder that faith is personal,
Yes.
but it doesn't have to be something that you hide away.
It could be a source of strength.
Of inspiration,
Yeah.
even social change.
And sometimes it takes someone like Denzel,
Right.
someone with his stature and respect to...
To bring these conversations to the forefront.
Exactly. Now, what really stands out to you about this whole thing?
For me, it's the courage,
Yeah.
to stand up for what you believe in.
Especially when it goes against the grain.
Right.
Yeah.
He could have easily kept his faith private.
Right.
But he chose to make a statement.
And that's powerful.
And I think that says a lot about his character.
Oh, yeah.
About his commitment to living authentically.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference
Yeah, even in small ways.
by being true to ourselves.
To ourselves and, speaking our truth.
So Denzel's baptism, this decision to become a minister,
Right.
it seems personal, but it really has these
It really does.
ripple effects that go way beyond.
It's bigger than him.
It's bigger than him. And it's a story that reminds us of the power of faith,
Yeah,
the importance of authenticity,
absolutely.
and how our actions
Even individual actions
Yeah.
can spark these meaningful conversations
and even change
and maybe even change the world a little bit.
in a world that feels so divided right now.
Yeah.
That's a message that I think we all need to hear.
Definitely a message worth amplifying.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this whole deep dive into Denzel's, this whole journey of faith, what are your final thoughts?
I think, what strikes me is that it's a good reminder that faith, it's not always a straight path.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not.
There are twists and turns,
Absolutely.
unexpected detours.
And sometimes those detours lead to,
Exactly.
the most amazing destinations.
So the most profound transformations. And, Denzel's story really challenges us to think about faith in a different way.
Oh, yeah, to look beyond the surface,
Yeah.
right?
Right. To consider how complex it can be.
Yeah.
And how it weaves into our lives, both personally and professionally.
And, especially in Hollywood, right?
Especially in Hollywood.
Where it's all about image,
Image perception, the whole thing.
the whole 9 yards.
And he's showing us, it's possible to be successful, to be celebrated,
Right.
and still, embrace your spirituality
Openly,
openly, authentically.
without shame.
Yeah. And in doing so, he's starting conversations.
Yeah.
He's inspiring others.
And it just shows you that living your truth can have
A ripple effect
a ripple effect.
that goes way beyond, your own little world.
And it's going to be interesting to see, what he does from here on out.
Oh, yeah. How this shapes his career.
Right. Will he be drawn to certain roles?
Will we see, more of those themes of faith and spirituality in his work?
Exactly. Will he, use his platform to tell those kinds of stories?
Who knows? But it's definitely something to watch.
Denzel has given us a lot to think about.
Oh, he's really challenged our assumptions about, faith and fame and
what it means to be authentic.
exactly, and how these personal transformations can happen when you least expect them.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive. I really appreciate you, sharing your insights with us.
It's always a pleasure.
And to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for diving deep with us.
If you want to explore this topic a little bit more, we encourage you to check out that Daily Express US article.
Yeah, and, do your own research, too.
Yeah.
Look into other celebrities who have talked about their faith.
Or even just the history of, religion in Hollywood.
There's so much out there.
There's a whole world of information just waiting to be discovered.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
That's right. And until next time, stay curious and keep those conversations going.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Barbie doll. Show them